Intel has established itself as a pioneer in computer technology and one of the leaders in creating the most powerful central processing units, CPUs. The tech giant spearheaded the development of the best CPUs that ever existed, notably their flagship unit, the Core i5-11600K, an absolute beast when it comes to speed and performance. However, we will not be talking about their flagship unit today. Instead, we will discover their newly released CPUs, the i5-11600K and i5-11400. The perfect mid-range processors for gamers, content creators, and enthusiasts looking to power up their PCs without the hefty price tag. If you are new to this channel, please smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated with Tech Factuala, YouTube's largest source of trends and news in the tech world. Before we compare the two processors, let's look first at the definition and functions of CPUs. The CPU is the main component of a computer. It runs the operating system and applications, taking feedback from the user or active software programs continuously. It processes the data and generates output, which can be saved or displayed on the screen by an application. At least one processor is present in the CPU, which is the actual chip that performs calculations. For several years, most CPUs had just one processor, but nowadays, most CPUs have at least two processors known as processing cores. A CPU with two processing cores is referred to as a dual-core CPU, whereas those with 4 cores are referred to as quad-core CPUs. 6 or hexacore or even 8 or octa-core processors are popular in high-end CPUs. A machine may also have multiple CPUs, each with multiple cores. A server with 2 hexacore CPUs, for example, has a total of 12 processors. The i5-11600K and the i5-11400 are hexacore processors from the same family of Intel processors, the K chips. What is so special about Intel K chips? Well, these chips are typically the quickest, with faster clock speeds than the regular chips in Intel's mainstream chips that don't have a letter. It also means that the chip has been unlocked, meaning its clock speeds are tweakable, or overclockable, to get a little more value out of it than what comes out of the package. Overclocking chips is usually done by enthusiasts for their desktops or high-performance laptops. We can now compare the i5-11600K and the i5-11400 and see which one is better and worth buying for your PC. Let's start with the processor's clock speeds. Having a faster clock speed means your computer can calculate more calculations faster and your apps can run faster and better as a result. The i5-11400 has a base frequency of 2.60 GHz and is overclockable up to 4.40 GHz. Meanwhile, the i5-11600K takes a giant leap with its 3.90 GHz base frequency and overclock speed at 4.90 GHz. The latter is clearly the undisputed winner in the clock speed category. If the clock speed is what you are up to, then the i5-11600K is the best for you. The enormous max memory size of the i5-11600K and the i5-11400 is absolutely perfect for content creators, video editors, and 3D animators who use applications that demand tremendous amounts of random access memory. Both processors have identical memory specifications. They have a massive max memory size of 128 GB, DDR4 3200 suggested memory type, 2 max memory channels, and a lightning fast max memory bandwidth speed of 50 GB per second. Next, both support 4K resolution for processor graphics at a refresh rate of 60 Hz, meaning you can enjoy playing your favorite games and watching your favorite movies or series in high resolution. The i5-11400 is equipped with Intel UHD Graphics 730, with a base frequency of 350 MHz, max dynamic frequency of 1.30 GHz, maximum memory of 64 GB, and 24 execution units. Meanwhile, the i5-11600K runs Intel UHD Graphics 750 with nearly identical specifications as the first one, except the latter has higher execution units, 32 to be exact. Execution units are high-throughput computing processors that are designed for simultaneous multi-threading. Both Intel UHD Graphics 730 and Intel UHD Graphics 750 support DirectX 12 to ensure that your PC will be able to run graphically demanding games and applications. However, depending on CPU integrated graphics alone is not efficient at all. That's why we recommend you find an excellent graphics processing unit, or GPU, to maximize your PC's performance. For starters, a GPU is a specialized processor that speeds up the rendering of graphics. GPUs can process a large amount of data at once, making them ideal for machine learning, video editing, and gaming. Now, combine that with a CPU, and you will have a much more powerful system that can run almost all modern applications and games with ease. Let's move on to one of the most important criteria of these CPUs: their prices. While bringing a fairly outstanding performance, the i5-11400 only ranges from $160 to $190. That's an excellent price for the massive performance upgrade that this processor can provide to your PC. On the other hand, the i5-11600K, with much better performance and specifications, ranges from $260 to $300. That's a fair price, considering the performance you can get from this processor is nearly similar to high-end processors. For people who can afford to save a few $100, we recommend you choose the i5-11600K, as it can transform your PC into a beast with the ultra-high performance it offers. However, if you are on a tight budget, having the i5-11400 is not a bad decision at all, although it has a lower clock speed than the i5-11600K. To sum up, let's recall what we have discussed about the i5-11400 and the i5-11600K. The i5-11400F has a permanently disabled iGPU, and the multiplier is locked. Intel has held support for DDR4 3200 memory frequencies, which are now available on even the mid-tier H570 and B560 motherboard chipsets. The i5-11400 is a 6-core, 12-thread processor with a clock speed of 2.60 GHz and a turbo speed of 4.40 GHz. The 6 Cypress Cove CPU cores each have 512 kilobytes of dedicated L2 cache, and the cores share a total of 12 megabytes of L3 cache. On the other hand, the i5-11600K is a 6-core, 12-thread processor with a maximum turbo boost frequency of 4.90 GHz and a clock speed of 3.90 GHz. The processor has 12 megabytes of shared L3 cache and 512 kilobytes of L2 cache per core. When combined with a Z590 or H570 chipset motherboard, Intel's Platform I/O gets a significant upgrade with support for PCI Express 4.0 x16 graphics, a CPU-attached M.2 NVMe slot, with PCIe 4.0 x4 and twice the chipset bus bandwidth compared to the previous version. We hope this video helped you decide on choosing between the i5-11600K and the i5-11400. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, ring the notification bell to stay updated with the latest uploads of Tech Factuala, the biggest YouTube channel on the latest trends in the tech world. To continue watching our videos, click the next button that will appear on your screen. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next Tech Factuala video.